curling the ball, going over the moments. This is what you were born for, Charles. Leads Alabama.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I want to take a look at 10 incredible Charles Barkley moments. Charles Barkley, the player, by the way. Moments that we as fans will never ever forget. But before we dive into that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment underneath the video. Do everything you can in order to support this channel so this channel can grow. Alright you guys, enough said. Let's get right into it. So the first moment that I want to talk about is one of the greatest coast-to-coast plays in NBA history. Let's have a look.
Bull taps it once and can't make it. Charles looks like he's just determined to take over this game. Oh!
Manute Bol, 7-7. Who can't get the rebound, he's up there going. So Barkley just snatches it, takes coast to coast, and boom.
For a guy his size and his girth, you know, that guy could really get up. So when Barkley comes through, you better get out of the way.
Barkley's coast to coast was one of those things that made me want to learn how to dribble coast to coast.
Charles Barkley reminded me mainly of myself because he says whatever he feels and whatever happens after this, he got to deal with it.
If a guy took a charge of me, I would try to kill him.
Now the next play that I want to take a look at, a moment that we fans will never ever forget, is the incredible game winner of Charles Barkley versus David the Admiral Robinson. Let's have a look.
That's kind of shot, the worst thing can happen. You can go in overtime. I got the shot I wanted. I wanted to drive it at him and shoot basically a free throw, and it went in.
He wasn't afraid of the moment. He wasn't afraid of the shot. I didn't want that shot to be. I didn't want him to pull up the top of the key. I mean, I wanted him to go get something.
8 seconds left in the game. Barkley holding it with 5, with 4, with 3. Puts up a long shot and scores it. He scores it.
We had the matchup we wanted. You know, David on Charles there on the perimeter. You know, probably would have liked to seen him drive a little bit on David, but, you know, Charles was a great player.
And the next moment is the 1992-1993 MVP season of Sir Charles.
The night he is going to win the MVP, okay, we go to my bar. It was confirmed that Charles is going to win the MVP. So I got on the mic, I stand on the bar, get the mic, and I announce that Charles Barkley, before anybody even knows it, has just won the MVP of the league. And the place goes nuts, and we do a little spotlight on Charles, and drinks all around. Just one of those, you know, iconic nights that a kid from Traverse City, Michigan, now he's standing on his own bar announcing his teammate, who's the MVP of the whole NBA. It's pretty cool when you think about it.
But from day one here, they embraced me. They treated me great. One of the reasons I still live here today is because the fans were fantastic to me.
Up to Miguel Knight. Fast break Suns to Barkley. Right over the hand and score. Nice execution off the break by the Suns.
Barkley was a dominant player. Extremely dominant in the post there. He was one of the best and most talented players that's ever played the game of basketball in this history.
Charles had this, you know, magnetism about him, and he was very confident. Who wouldn't want to play with a guy like Charles? He wasn't going to lose. I mean, he would take everybody on his back and say, I'm going to get you to the promised land.
And the next play is one of the greatest behind-the-back plays in NBA history. Let's have a look. And the next moment that I want to take a look at is actually a Chris Webber versus Charles Barkley moment. And Charles Barkley is on the receiving end, but it is a moment in NBA history. So let's have a look.
Pass right down to Webber. He turns. Look up behind the back. And the step of the foul.
was in a commercial. That's what made that great.
Yeah, didn't you see Chris dunk on Charles Barkley? Nah, you didn't see that. I went something like this. Put the cape on though, because I was like Superman. Oh yeah, you were.
Well, that was my first game playing against Barkley, and I met Barkley in high school, and Barkley was by far my favorite player. My friends were in town in Oakland for that game. Everybody came up, and they knew how much I loved Barkley.
I was gonna foul him, and he shook me up when he took it behind his back, because I knew he was like a 50% free throw shooter, and I had made in my mind I was gonna grab him. But when he took the ball behind his back, I couldn't get close enough to him to grab it.
I had a poster at home with him jumping with me and both his hands out, like kind of in a helpless position. And when I dunked on him and got the foul, I looked up to my boys in the stands and said, now what? I'm in the NBA. What could be better than to be the #1 pick and dunk on your idol?
And the next moment that I want to take a look at is the 56 points game versus the Golden State Warriors. Let's have a look.
We are underway. Game 3 in Oakland. A victory by the Suns, and the season ends for Golden State. A Warrior win, and they stay alive in the play on Friday. Barkley from 15. Swish, it's good.
Well, I remember going to the Warriors bench, and I'm talking to Don Nelson. I said, Don, I got like 10 points in the first 3-4 minutes of the game. He says, we're not gonna double you.
Out to Barkley. Fake the 3. Wants to shoot it again. Got it! Shazam! What a first quarter for Sir Charles. 27 points. Did not miss a shot. 11 for 11 from the field. 3 3-pointers.
Just a unique individual. Biggest heart in the world. One of the greatest athletes. Forget basketball all time. And this is a basketball player, a guy 6'4", 6'5", to be able to do the things that he did.
Barkley handles the ball, starts to move back on Gatling, keeps coming, now falls back, puts the shot up and in, off the glass from 16, he got it. This is his NBA playoff career high.
There's very few nights where you just shoot everything and it goes in. I was very fortunate tonight, and hey, I mean, when you just shooting it and they all going in, it's unbelievable.
And the next moment is a fighting moment with Charles Barkley versus Charles Oakley. Let's have a look.
They double up momentarily. That was Oakley coming over to help Houston. And Drexler lost it. Barkley on the recovery. Stopped by Ewing. And then put on the floor by Oakley. And Barkley goes at Oakley. Oakley missed with a swing. Barkley tried to go back at him. And they're separated.
And while we're taking a look at some fights, Charles Barkley versus Bill Laimbeer.
Rodman with a push on the horn. Laimbeer follows with the ball, and then Barkley and Laimbeer.
And in case you forgot, Charles Barkley was one of the most spectacular shot blockers in NBA history. And in case you forgot, here are some incredible moments.
Barkley is Barkley. I don't think he's 6'3". He was just one of those rare players that size didn't matter. It was just determination.
Rebound Barkley. He battles, he shoots, he scores. Sir Charles.
I mean, he would take on Goliath. I mean, he was just had that bravado about him. So Charles, he was unbelievable what he accomplished for his size.
Charles Barkley is probably one of the greatest power forwards of all time, for sure, because of his skill set. He was still able to dominate inside the paint. His rebounding is second to none. I mean, this guy was just a beast on the boards. To be only 6'7" or so and be able to snag 20 rebounds and, you know, on a nightly basis seemed like was incredible.
Charles was a different kind of competitor. He wanted to destroy you. I mean, he was a fun guy and he's super off the floor, a great guy to be around, but such a competitor on the floor, and there was nothing that he couldn't do on the basketball court.
Here's the lob for Barkley, goes up and jams! Oh, beautiful alley-oop for Sir Charles.
He could get on the roll when the team's down, and he could create a 10-0 run by himself.
And we knew we had a superstar. And not only a superstar, we had a person who could sway the officials one way or the other by his aggressiveness, by his physicality, And that was unheard of besides Karl Malone in the Western Conference.
All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.